Hello viewers. I'm going to wait a few minutes and we're going to do this list that you've asked me to do, which is going to be good. There's some brilliant ones on here. Get my specs on as well. So I've got me my printed list. Now this is so we got Anne, Nikki Ross, Sandra Beck, Cassie. How are you? You okay, everybody? Now I'm sat out of the way. I'm in my little hovel, our little garage, where I often do a bit of rehearsing and stuff. So I'm sat in here, just out of the way of everybody in the house. So I'm going to go through this list. Now I've got 100 and odd questions here. So it's some funny ones as well. As you can see, we've got lots and lots of questions. So I'm gonna do some today because it'll take me a month to go through these and answer them properly. So what we'll do, I think we'll do some today. I'm just going to start from the top, and I'm not preempting what I'm going to say. I'm just going to read them and then try and come out with a truthful answer. So I've kind of not rehearsed what I'm going to say or anything. It'd be too easy to do that, wouldn't it? So I'm going to just crack on and do some of these what you've asked me, and there's more people joining now. I've got 60 or so now. And then I'll post this anyway, so everybody will get to see it. But I've had some cracking ones. I've had some really funny ones. Helen, she sent about 30. Yeah. And the last one was, can I have a job? That's good. That's Helen all over it. And Greg sent a good one in about the time when I was in Vegas and I was there and I was with Paul Crook. I'll tell you that little story. That's a full-on story. That it'll take us half an hour to tell that. These are all for getting a book. But listen, so over my 30 years of doing this, I've been to a lot of countries. We've been to a lot of shows. We've done a lot of venues. We've done every venue going, I think. And London Palladium was one of my highlights. For anybody to play the London Palladium, I played that 18 years ago. So. You know what? I think I'm going to try and get back there. I think that'd be the key to get back to the Palladium. If I'm going to do the West End, I'd like to do the Palladium. But other than that, somebody asked me, would you? One of the questions was, would you rather have a show in the West End or a Michelin 5-star restaurant? The restaurant all day long. I'm not really bothered about the West End. I'm not into closed shops. You know what it is with the West End? Somebody runs it. It's like mafia, It's like going to Vegas, and it's who you know, what you know. It's not how good you are or would you work there. It's whether they've got control over you and whether they're taking the money off you. And it's not how I work. I just crack on and really do it myself. That's why I manage myself, promote myself, look after myself. I don't pay anybody other than the people who work for me. That's the difference between me and anybody else in this country. The Royal Variety. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Do they still do that? Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to crack on. So, the first daft one, I'm going to do a daft one. How did you lose your hair? How did I lose my hair? Just fell out, didn't it? I was probably 20, 21, and he started going thin. And, hang on. Yes? I'm on telly.
Here's your coffee. Third time lucky.
Oh, got my coffee.
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino, everybody, cheers. So, I was probably in my 20s and started going thin and scraping it back and all that. And it's never really bothered me going bald or going thin. Never even, just whatever. It's just one of them things. And then I got a contract to go to South Africa. And I always said, if you're going to be bald, because you see these, back when I shaved my hair off, nobody did. It was people, it was skinheads, and it was a tough thing, and nobody did it. Your flipping bank manager probably has a bald head now. It's one of them where back in the day, nobody did the bald head thing. I think Yul Brynner did it. Kojak, obviously, he was awesome. They were the two big characters, and they kind of pulled it off and got away with it. And then after that, it was like it was a football skinhead thing. So it was difficult to do. People don't realise the things you take a gamble when you do something. So I was going thin, and then I got the contract to go to Africa. And I always said, if you're gonna go bald, you got to have a nice round head, which looks like I've got a football round head, so that's all right. And brown, it's got to be brown. You don't a big white bald head's just ugly, isn't it? So I thought, well, if I go to South Africa and I get the job over there, I'm going to shave my hair off. And that's what I did. I stayed out in South Africa for 2 years working, shaved it all off. And then what I didn't need glasses then, but what I used to do, I used to get a pair of glasses and I had them clear put in them. So when I go out at night, I'd be suited up on, looking smart. I'd put my glasses on and it used to take the edge off. People weren't scared of you, weirdly. You go in as I look now, but back then, and they'd be frightened of you. They'd be worried. You were going to smash the place up or something. I don't know. So that was it. That's when I went bald in my early 20s. Shaved it off in my 20s, and I've never looked back. And it's really become a kind of it's become my thing, really. I think especially doing vampires, and then doing Meatloaf. That was a massive step. So going from a tribute to Meatloaf, where you would try and look like the person, you try and imitate the person, you'd wear similar clothes, or you'd kind of copy with the wig and the hair and the long hair. So I did that for many years, and then I took a massive gamble, and I thought, you know what? I wonder if people would mind if I didn't look like him. I didn't try to look like him. I kind of veered away from the tribute. But we were still doing his songs. I mean, and what somebody once asked me, well, what if Michael Ball sang Meatloaf and Jim Steinman songs? Would you call him a tribute to Meatloaf? No, you wouldn't. You call him Michael Ball sings the songs of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman. That's what I hope is happening with me. This is where I'm hoping we have gone. We've gone to that place where Steve Steinman is singing these songs, rather than Steve Steinman is a tribute to Meatloaf, because I don't try to look like him. I don't try to imitate him. My act on stage is nothing like Meatloaf would ever do or ever say. Everything I say and do on stage, Meatloaf has never done. Some mannerisms are there. Of course they are, because I've been doing it that long, so I've picked up some of the things he would have done, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't deny that, but we've definitely tried to pull away from being that guy with the frilly shirt, the long hair and the red handkerchief. It's just not where we want to be, and I think we've proved that over the years, and hopefully we'll carry on. And having people like Lorraine in the show just backs us up. You know what I mean? She won't sing with any old tribute, so that's good. So that's where the bald thing's gone, and then obviously I went into Vampires Rock, and then that really set me apart. That gave me my image, I think. That's what I was looking for, and it's been an incredible show, Vampires Rock, but more about that later. So that's the first one. See how long these take? That's one question. So that's the bald thing. How long have you known John Evans? And we're going to say happy birthday, John Evans. John, our John. He's 55 today. Me and John are the same age. He's 55. Cheers, John. Hope you're having a good birthday in lockdown. John's watching. I've just seen his name come on. All right, pal. So John, me and John go back 30 years. I used to own a restaurant, and John used to work for me. He used to be my cellar manager and look after all my beer, and he'd go on these beer training with the amp pumps and all that, and the restaurants, and he'd just be an all-rounder, John. He's always been there. And he's good with his hands, so he's good at fixing stuff, so like that needs fixing, the lights broke, this is broke. And John was kind of he's always been there, that kind of right-hand man, and then unbeknownst to me, John could sing. Unbeknownst to me, I could sing. So we've known each other a long time, and then John's wife came and worked for me. At the time, John's wife, Wendy, she came to work for me as my restaurant manageress. So me and John go way, way back. Now, how we got to sing together was in my restaurant. I had a hotel and restaurant in Saddleworth back in the good old days. And John's brother-in-law was sat at the end of my bar, and it just so happened John's brother-in-law was a singer, a guitar player, married to John's sister, who was also a singer, Jean, incredible singer. So I get chatting to Bob, and then we spark a deal. I always said I wanted to play guitar, and he said, "What? Just so happens I'm a guitar player." Lived behind my restaurant, my pub, in a nice house up there in the countryside, and we then. We just kind of got chatting and got friendly. He was sitting there having a drink on his own. He'd been to the hospital. Jean was having a babe, one of the babies, which are now they're all these big grown-up lads doing incredibly well. So we got chatting, and then we sparked a deal, and he started teaching me guitar, and the rest is history. And then they put. We did our first show. I've been playing guitar for about 6 weeks, and then we went and did a show upstairs. Then I found out John could sing. It's just a family thing. So then John was my backing singer within the band at the time, and he'd come forward and he'd do some Eagles and stuff, and we'd do some parties at the pub. And that's how we got singing. That's how I got singing. That's how John used to be very nervous of getting on stage, and then eventually just came out, and we just started working. And I'll go from here because there's another question. Now, I've not got everybody's names who sent the questions in because we printed this out and the names didn't come up. So I'll try and pick up some names as well as we go along. So then we put a band together, me and John. Well, I kind of put it together, and John was in it, and a guy called Simon Goodwin, who's over in Spain now. And that's how I know Paul Briley, who's on my sound desk. Now, I've known Paul for 30 years. So... I put my first band. So one of the questions was, what was your first band name? Well, my very first band name, when I was silly and we were just kind of doing it as a joke, was Steve Murray and the Minters. Oh yes, took a lot of thinking about that one. So Steve Murray and the Minters, and then we got a bit serious. Well, I thought we were a bit good then. And we put one called Zip Code, because we thought we were a bit American, instead of postcode, we thought we'd go Zip Code. Not quite the same, is it? Gonna see postcode tonight. So we put our band together, Zip Code. And then we went around doing all the pubs and clubs and bars, and we had some good fun. Really good fun. We had some good people in the band, and we, and that's what it was. It was fun. And then from there, we went on, and I got an interview to do Stars in Their Eyes, and that's how I ended up doing Stars. Now I still had my hotel, my restaurant, and then I went on to do Stars in Their Eyes, and it was the piano player I recall who sent the tape in and the information, because I didn't know he'd done it. I just got a phone call one day saying, "Do you want to come in and do an interview, Stars?" And I thought, "Oh yeah." It was a massive show, as you guys my age you'll all know. It was a massive show. So. That came in, the Stars in Their Eyes thing. I thought, it'll be good for business. People will come in the bar and the restaurant, and it'll be fun. It'll be just fun to do it. So I did. I went and did it, and that was funny. But that's another story. That's a big story. So let's have a look what else we've got. How old were you when you first started to sing? I've kind of covered that. In my early 20s, 25, 26. I didn't really sing up until then. It was just out of having a bit of fun in the hotel and the restaurant, and then I was always the front man and waiting on tables and so on, and then we'd go upstairs in the restaurant, function suite, and then we'd put a show on, or there'd be a dinner dance. I'd employ, it was Freddie and the Dreamers, we'd have Burning Manning on one night and so on. We'd have all these acts coming through the restaurant, and then I'd get up and do a song, with the house band, and it was just all a bit daft and a bit fun. Who would have known I'd have ended up doing this for a living? Let's have a look what else we've got. What's your first paid job when you left school? I say paid job. My mum was an hairdresser. You won't believe this one. So I was about 15, 16 when I left school. No real qualifications. Never really did school. Good at sport, but that was about as far as it went. And I didn't really have a job, so I used to... So my mum had hairdressers, so I just said, well, I'll come be an hairdresser. And I did. I did hairdressing for 3 years, and I even went to college. Went to college and got my city and girls for hairdressing, and there was me and 35 girls in the class. Can you imagine? So that's my first job. And I say paid job. My mum used to give me 15 quid a week, and I think she claimed that off Margaret Thatcher at the time. What was it called? YTS or something. So I used to get 15 quid a week. That was my first job. There you go. And then to make me real money, because I've always gone off wheeling and dealing or whatever. I was a DJ. I used to go out DJ. I'd buy some equipment, and when we ended up in the pubs and and I used to go around and DJ, and that's how that's kind of how I made my money. Hairdressing was gonna be the career, and then the next thing was really DJing. That made me my money. You know the parties and weddings and all that sort of stuff. I think the first album I bought was it Now One? Because it had all the songs on and I didn't have any records. So I just bought one album and went to do my first job and then built it up from there. Now it's changed, really. Now it's changed. Okay. What's your favourite vampire film? Oh, it's got to be Interview with the Vampire. Definitely, Interview with the Vampire. What a film. Amazing film, that. Can you ride a motorcycle? If so, what motorcycle do you got? Yeah, I can ride a bike. I used to race motorbikes. I've raced bikes all my life as a little kid. And if you've seen me post, my lad rides and races. So yes, I have raced to quite a high standard at one point in my youth. And I have a Harley Davidson, obviously. And which is sat behind me there. So that's my choice of bike, just to plod around on. I'm a bit of a plodder now. I used to have a sports bike. I used to go out with all the leathers on and all that, but too old now. I can't do any of that. So yeah, can ride a bike. What is the weirdest thing you've had to sign? It's probably Ellen's back or arse, more than likely. And the thing is with Ellen, every time you sign something, she gets it tattooed. So there you go. That's the weirdest thing. Will you ever go back to Oldham? Well, not really. I mean, what, to live? No, not at all. My family still live in the Manchester, Oldham area. So I do go back every now and then, but I don't go to Oldham. They live outside of Oldham. I was brought up in a place called Saddleworth. I lived in Greenfield all my life, so it was a beautiful part of Oldham. So I go back to visit friends. I've got friends there. Who's the most famous person in your phone contacts? Nobody. Got nobody famous. I've got loads of people who you would probably call, I don't know, TV celebrities or people you might know. I've got people like that. But famous is like Bon Jovi, isn't it? Or Brian May. You know, they're famous. They're famous. The word famous and celebrity, you know what I mean? If somebody called me, if I got to be called a celebrity, I'd back in. It's the worst word in the world, isn't it now, that, celebrity? Do you have any regrets? You know what I do regret? The only thing I regret, because going back to the motorcycle thing, was not winning a British Championship. I used to do the AMCA British Championship, and there was one year which I'd won pretty much every round. I won all the qualifiers, and I went into the championship, and I broke my knuckle. I've got no knuckle there. I broke my hand in the first bloody race, and that was me out, really. And that was kind of my opportunity, my window of opportunity, and I really feel I'd have won that year. And I was on it. I wanted it, and I thought that was it. So that's my only regret, really. He's just not winning a title, really. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Oh, Ellen's watching now. Let's have a look. Do you think your regular fans are actually mad for seeing the show so many times? Or you secretly like it? I don't secretly like it. I love it. If the fans, if you guys who are watching me now, if you didn't come to the shows all the time and keep telling other people, we wouldn't be here, because how many shows do you know that have been going as long as I've been going? I don't know any. So we must be doing something right, and I think the key is you keep changing it, you make it fun. keep changing the cast. The cast do change. It's as simple as that. I remember back in the day, when cast changes, they've left, that person's left, this person's left. It's the show. The whole thing makes the show. People do come and go. As long as I'm at the helm, we'll always have good people. And at the moment, we've probably definitely got the best team I've had in a long time. You have to have everybody pushing in the same direction, everybody wanting the same thing, everybody on the same page. It's not always easy to get to that, because there's always somebody who will push against, and then it kind of upsets the apple cart, as it were. So I think you're all great. What do you like to do on your days off? Well, don't get that many days off, to be fair, but when we do get a day off, we go riding. I go riding with my boy. So motocross, I suppose that's my day off, really, if we do get a day off. Will you be going to Corfu? This year, it will be going anywhere, I don't know. People know I love Corfu. I've been going for 15 plus years now. It's an amazing place. So I don't know. Let's have a look at this one. How's your knee? My knee's knackered. So probably in my late 20s, probably 25, 26, I came off my bike and I raunched my knee, so I ripped all my ligaments and so on. So over all these many years of me diving around on stage, and I've kept riding bikes, and I used to do a lot of sport, the knee's basically gone now. And I was booked in after the last show in June to go and get a brand new knee, and I'd give myself 3 months then to get ready, back on stage in October. That's cancelled now, so the knee will have to just suffer and hurt. I'm just on painkillers, and some days are great and some days are really bad. It's just the way it is. So, sometimes you'll see me on stage and I'll be hopping around and you can see I'm in pain, and then other times I'm fine. Sometimes I'm packing it in ice as soon as I've come off stage. It's just weird. It's just the way it is. It's just bone on bone, and it's just shot to death, and desperate for a new knee. So we'll get there. It'll be the year after now, no doubt, with all this nonsense going on. Are you married? Yes, I am. I'm married to a lovely young lady called Nikki. We have 2 lovely children. Well, they're a pain in the arse, to be fair. Got one girl goes to university and one boy who's a pain in the arse. He doesn't go to nothing. So, yeah, married, 2 children. In fact, what I did was when I went to South Africa for the first time, went and worked on my own for 2 months, came back, then we went back again. I took my Nikki, we got married. I came back in the interim of a month, got married and went back to Africa. And we both went to Africa for 2 years before we came back to England. And then that's when I came back. That's when I came and lived in Nottingham rather than go back to Manchester, because we'd pretty much sold everything up. We'd gone with nothing, we came back with nothing, and we started all over again. My life story, to be fair. Cheeky one here, little cheeky one. Graham Connor, would you promote Facebook page for Stars in the Rise? So there is a Facebook page for Stars in the Rise. Graham Connor runs it. Go and like it. Were you nervous when you did Stars in the Rise? No, I don't think I was nervous when I did it, because I've always been really confident, and it wasn't really it wasn't a career move. It was just me having some fun, so it was hard to be nervous. I think if I did a TV show now, I'd be nervous, because it's my life, Leo, and people are watching you, and you're meant to be good, and I'd be nervous that I won't be good, because I run a hotel and restaurant. Or why would I be nervous about going singing a Meatloaf song? So I wasn't really nervous at the time. Now, it was good fun, Stars in the Rise, though. It was really good fun. Who would you dream person to perform with on stage, apart from Meatloaf? Well, I don't know if I'd want to sing with Meatloaf, to be fair. I think we'd be having a right bloody song battle, wouldn't we? I'd like to sing with people. Tina Turner would have been ace. I don't think that'd be possible now, but she's awesome, isn't she? Love Tina Turner. Trying to think of anybody else. Elvis would have been mint, wouldn't it? Flipping out. And when I went to actually America to try and take Vampires Rock to Vegas, and we went and visited the Hilton where Elvis played all those shows, and shows after shows, and it's not changed really a lot. And I stood on the stage there where Elvis would have been. It's an amazing feeling, that, because he's a hell of a performer and character. What did you do in South Africa? So, well, I went to South Africa. What we did, I took a flying chance. I'd got some family who lived there. Auntie of mine worked in South Africa. She went over as a singer, believe it or not. So I guess this is where the singing comes from. But an auntie of mine was a singer. She went to South Africa working, never came home. So she'd retired from singing, and then we went to visit her and the kids and my cousins and so on. And while I was there was casinos popping up everywhere. They were obviously Sun City, and then there was one called the Carousel. And I went and auditioned, and my auntie knew an agent that she worked with back in the day, and luckily he was still there. So we got on the phone. I took some little backing tracks with me, went to the casino in just outside Johannesburg. It was part of the Sun International Group, and we've still got some great friends from them times. And I went and did a little audition, went on and put my tape in, and we did a little Meat Loaf song or something. I can't remember what I did, to be fair. And the guy who was running that was Kevin. Kevin Hollis, he'll probably be watching. He was the manager. He run it all, and he was a northern lad, which was amazing, because we just got on like a house on fire, and that was it. I ended up staying there for 2 years, working in the casino, in the big shows, and they had all the dancing girls with the feathers and all that. Did some stuff in Sun City, and we had a fabulous time. It was an amazing time in South Africa. And then I came back and started again with the Meat Loaf from scratch. Basically came back with nothing. We spent everything while we were there, and then we just started all over again. That's just, I came back with 10 quid in my pocket, basically. What else have we got? What's the name of your first band? Well, we've done that one. That was Steve Murray and the Minters, or Zip Code was my next main one. Right, let's have a look. Okay. If you went on The Voice, do you think they'd turn for you? What the fuck? No, definitely not. I mean, there's some amazing singers on there, isn't there? And they don't get a turn, do they? So, the shows, they're designed for entertainment. They're not always designed for the best singer or the best entertainer. I mean, I'm an entertainer. I'm not a singer. Yeah, I can sing, I can knock a tune out, I can perform a song. But there are people who can sing. I always think like Robbie Williams. He's not a singer, he's an entertainer. He can entertain, he's all right as a singer. There's loads like that who are better at entertaining, but as a package, it's a great thing. I don't even think Cher's that great, but as a package, she comes across and it works, doesn't it? Madonna, another one. She's no Barbara Streisand, is she? But she does what she does, and I think that's what I do. I do what I do. So if I went on there, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I would just have to sing, and it won't be that clever. So, no, they definitely won't turn. And if they did turn, I'd go with Tom Jones, obviously, because he's the only one I know who's on there. Right. Right, what's your top 5 favourite songs? You know what, I haven't got a top 5. I sing so many songs, I love them all. But, over the years, Meat Loaf, Bat Out of Hell is probably the most song I've ever sung. There's no question, I've sang Bat Out of Hell more times than Meat Loaf. Within a million years, I've sang it more times than Meat Loaf. You think how many shows I do every single year and every single week. And I haven't got bored of it. And especially, we keep getting different band members in, and it just creates this different sound. And then with the orchestra, it's unbelievable. So if you're going to come and watch the orchestra shows, you're going to be blown away, seriously. So I haven't really got a top 5, but if you said top 5 Meat Loafs, I'd say definitely Bat Out of Hell. 2 out of 3's got to be up there, hasn't it? Left in the Dark. I like some of the obscure ones, me. I like the one me and Lorraine do. What About Love? I like that. It's not a big song that Meat Loaf. People know Meat Loaf did, but it works. I like it. So, there'll be songs like that, I think. Have you ever met Meat Loaf? Yeah, I have met Meat Loaf. Met him a few times. I think we all know, if you don't know, he's not a lover of performers who don't write their own songs, or he's who he is, and he's an amazing fella, and he's done an amazing things in his life. And I met him first was on The Big Breakfast. It was a morning TV show back in the day. Some of you remember it. And I got a phone call off the TV company saying, do you want to come, and we're doing this daft thing on The Big Breakfast, and they've got all these lookalikes lined up, and Meatloaf had to choose, and it was just stupid. But I went to meet him, and I got a photograph, and that was the first time I met him. Then I met him again in South Africa, and then I met him again since then. No, I didn't meet him again then, but then I know Paul Crook, and I know some of the guys in the band, and I kind of got contacts that way. He's not a great lover of, he definitely doesn't love tributes. He's definitely not a fan at all of tributes, so... but he's left me alone. We've got an understanding, I think. We have spoke on email a few times where he's telling me not to do this or not to do that, and which is fair enough. A lot of the tributes out there, what they'll do is they'll use the font, Meatloaf's font, the way Meatloaf writes Meatloaf. Actually not allowed. It's his font. It's copywritten, and he will sue people. So I haven't used that for many years. Don't need to. But I did at first, because you just don't think, till you get a phone call. Yeah, it's Meatloaf here. Stop using my fucking font, Steve. All right, Loaf, no problem. So that's how the conversation went. So, on with the next one. What's it like meeting Meatloaf for the first time? Well, first time were all right, because he didn't really care. He didn't really understand the tribute thing. I don't think he'd really kicked off them big. He didn't really understand it. There was only me. There was only me doing it. So when you're the only person out there doing it, there was no internet. There was no global knowledge of it. So yes, it was very amicable then. Don't know about now. He'd probably chin me. Let's have a look. What else have we got? How many different backing singers have you had in the Meatloaf shows over the years? Flipping heck! Well, my first ever, back in the day, I used to go out. I'd go out with a band, or I'd go out with me and a girl as a duet. Because obviously you always have to go out as a duet. You couldn't go out as a solo singer. And Steph was my first ever backing singer, Steph Tabner, who's on my Facebook, and she's a doctor now, and she went off to Australia. So how things changed, but I think she's still in a band. So that was that. And how many I've had? I've lost count, absolutely lost count. If you could record a Meatloaf track and have it released world over on the radio play, which one would you choose? Well, I'd choose someone. I'd probably choose a Jim Steinman track, and whether Meatloaf has sung it or not, I just like the way Meatloaf, Jim Steinman writes his stuff. So maybe it'd be a Jim Steinman song, I think, rather than a Meatloaf song. And probably something that Meatloaf never recorded, maybe. It'd be the way forward. What would you do if Meatloaf wanted to sing with you? Well, that's not going to happen, but I'd say, yeah, crack on, come on, where are we going? Do you know what I mean? We're going to Dog and Pheasant down road. I don't know, yeah, do that. I'd say, yeah, come on. You don't think that's going to happen, though? Will you ever get fed up with singing Meatloaf? Well, do you ever get fed up with going to work? If you love your work, no, you won't do. And I love my work. And the lucky thing I've got is... I see me now as singing Jim Steinman songs. That's kind of where I feel I'm at now. We've kind of progressed. We haven't stayed doing what we've always done. I don't try to be Meatloaf, so I don't feel like I'm doing Meatloaf songs anymore. I feel like I'm doing Jim Steinman songs, to be fair. And it gives us the opportunity doing Jim Steinman songs. We can do Total Eclipse of the Heart. We can do the Bonnie Tyler stuff. We can do the Celine Dion number. You know, we can do songs that Jim Steinman did, which are amazing. He does some amazing songs. But no, never get bored. Never, because I'm always changing it. I.e., changing it up to the orchestra, getting the orchestra. What an amazing sound that is. So I can't believe if I'd have been Meatloaf back in the day, I'd have had an orchestra with me all the time, just toured an orchestra. What pushed you to make the leap from originally touring Meatloaf into creating Vampires Rock, which it's gradually process of more, and then you thought give it a go. So anyway, basically, what made me do Vampires Rock? So I'm doing the Meatloaf show. 2020. What have I long been doing Vampires? I've probably been doing Vampires 19 years or so now. So 19 years ago, I come up with this idea because we were doing obviously the Meatloaf, so we're doing all Meatloaf songs, and I wanted a show that didn't just pick on one person. So I needed a variety show who did all these incredible classic rock songs, these amazing songs that are out there. AC/DC and Whitesnake and all these people. And I thought, how can we do a show and what can we do and how can we angle it and how can we? So I thought and I'm thinking, well, you know, all these old rockers, they all look like they're dying. They all look about 1,000 years old and they look like vampires and they never die and they're still, you know, Mick Jagger still looks the same as he did 100 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? They're all, you know, Keith Richards and all that. They're all like vampires, aren't they? So that was the idea. And I think there's another band going now called Hollywood Vampires. I think they stole my idea. So that's the idea of it. That's the idea behind Vampires Rock. And when I first did the first Vampires, it was rubbish. But people loved it. They loved the songs. But and it's gradually grown. And as I've gone along and we've wrote the script, and it's got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it got to the point where we've done arenas with it. So probably my biggest achievement is one of the other questions. What's your biggest achievement? I think it's probably doing Vampires Rock is probably my biggest achievement in the music. Obviously having my children is the other one. I have to say that, don't I? So yeah, right. What else have we got? What inspired you for Vampires Rock? Well, I've just done that one. So that was coming out of Meatloaf has inspired me to do that. How do you choose the songs? Well, it's easy. You just choose the best, don't you? But they're all chosen in such a manner that they all tell the story. Because actually, if you took all the script out, any silly script we have, because we don't have much, as you know, take all that out, take it all out, and the songs will tell the story anyway, and that's how I choose them. I choose them with what is being said in the song is how it works on to the next. I won't just put a song in just for the sake of putting a song. It's got to tie in with the script. So that's how I choose the songs, and that's why sometimes you'll hear a song and you think, it's not really classic rock, or it's not, but it works, and then we make it into a rock song, and that's why I do that. Where did you get the awesome zebra coat? I used to get this guy make all my clothes over in Yorkshire. I don't know if he's still there actually, and he made it. This guy made it. He used to go up and he'd show me all the material, and I'd say, what a big coat and this and that, and he'd make stuff. If you have any singer to play the Queen in Vampires Rock, who would it be? The Queen? Well, as in like a famous person, I don't know. I mean, Emily does an amazing job. Emily's probably the best at it. Even if you got somebody famous, could you get somebody else? Tina Turner would have been mint, wouldn't she? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking hypothetically daft back in the day, but Tina Turner won it. Yeah. Alex Lewis, what, there's a script? Well, sometimes. And we make it look like there is sometimes. What's your most memorable mess-up? Ad-libs in Vampires Rock. Well, don't really ever mess up much, do I? I can't remember. There's that many mess-ups and ad-libs. How the hell can I remember the best one? So, no, I don't know. There's fucking thousands of them in there. But that's what makes the show. I think that's what does it. That's what brings you, audience, into the show, definitely. Do you have as much fun on stage as you seem to do with the audience? Yeah, that is not an act. We are having a right blast. The best 2 hours of your life is when it's the fun. I love the comedy, mate. I really do love the comedy. I'd love to just stand there and tell stories, to be fair. Forget the singing, let's just tell some jokes, you know, or just have some fun. I love the comedy, and that's why sometimes it gets longer and longer. If I click onto something or catch somebody in the eye, catch somebody's eye and they're making me laugh, I have to just stop and speak about it. So yeah, we all absolutely love it. It's the best job. Our often do you audition for female singers? Well, I never really audition, to be fair. People are queuing up to join the shows, and it's usually Emily or Vicky or somebody will know somebody. Trixie got the job by a friend of mine who'd seen her and said, you want to look at this girl, and Emily brings in people, and Vicky also brings in people. People will say, hey, have you seen this girl, do you know this girl? And that's how we do. We never actually audition. We just get people who are put into us. Do you keep in touch with former singers and band members? Well, I keep in touch with Shireen all the time. Love Shireen, so keep in touch with Shireen. I keep in touch with some, not a lot. I mean, you know, when you do your gig family, it's your gig family, and then you leave and you don't see each other till the next show. You know, we chat, and I'll text people, and sometimes we do. You know, keep my eye on some people. Some people leave. We know we're never going to see them again. Maybe they've been fired, so I'll never see them. And yeah, you know, so some people, not all of them. It's like life, innit? You just, you know, you have your friends, and then you get your work colleagues, and sometimes your work colleagues become your friends, and you know. I mean, me and Emily have been friends for many years. Emily, she even comes away on holiday with the family, and she's just part of the family, Emily. So, yeah, well, you know, people, and Emily went away, did a shows in, she went off and worked in China and all over the place. I think she brought that disease back that we're all dying from now, but anyway, that's another matter. All right, so let's have a look. What else have we got? Can you remember being at the Regal Theatre in Worksop? I can, and we used to do it anyway every year. A little tiny place, Regal. Is it still there? But I do remember doing the Regal in Workshop. I remember doing all the venues, to be fair. I remember being sat in a dressing room with Rena, and we were doing a show, and it was called, my first show back when I come back from South Africa, and I called it Steve Steinman's Rock Theatre. Fucking hell. So there was me, Shireen, and Shireen's mate Tilly, and they backed me up, and we went out doing all these classic rock songs and that. And I think it was a New Year's Eve, and we're at Doncaster, Workingmen's Club in Doncaster. Rough as fuck. It was that rough. The piano had a fucking bandage on its leg. Proper rough places. We'd just done the set, and we'd finished, and they went, well, one more, and they're banging on the dressing room door, and man, I've got my hands, my head in my hands like that. I'm thinking, oh no, and I just looked at Shireen, and I said, we deserve better than this, love, and we've always remembered it. And I was dead serious at the time, and these people trying to get in, making us go back, and we just wanted to get out of there. And that was like a New Year's Eve, so it was like horrendous. What else have we got here? At the Durngate Theatre, Northampton, they have graffiti on the wall. Do other theatres do this or like this? Durngate, no, that's the only one. You know what? And I did. Durngate Theatre was the first theatre I ever did with my Meatloaf show. The very, very first theatre. And then also Southampton Mayflower was a very early theatre. And I remember doing that on the wall all those years ago, and that's nearly 30 years ago then. It could be even 30 years ago. 27, maybe 27, I'd say. So 27 years ago I was at the Durngate, and that was my first ever theatre, and that was a big deal then, because it was, how do we make that move? How do we go from working in bars and clubs, and how do we get on the phone to them? How do we do it? You know, and learning how to do it and who to speak to, and not having any gear really good enough to go into a theatre. And the daft thing is, 30 years later, I still see acts going into theatres who shouldn't be in theatre, not because they're not good enough or whatever, because they're not prepared. It's not there. It's not the next jump. They're not going in with the right equipment. They're not going in with a theatre show. They're going in with a bar club show. And that was like me. Stands with lights on and things. And I thought, no. Learned very fast, and then, you know, as we are where we are today. Let's have a look. So, where are we at? how often do you change your band members? Well, you know, band members come and go, don't they? You know, they've all got their own lives, they've all got their own thing. Band members, they've got other jobs, they've got other lives. You know, they tend to be it tends to be a 3-year cycle for me generally. People come for 3 years and then they get itchy feet and want to move on. This lot I've got now, I don't know how long it'll be what it'll be. You never know, but we've got the work in. We play all the best venues in the country, so if you want to play guitar, why not play in the best touring shows? So listen, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to do some more tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So if you tune in again, I've got a load more to go through, and I'll try and bang some names out as well, because I didn't get the names printed off on this one. So I hope you got a little bit of information. If you want to know any stories, I'll do the Greg story tomorrow, which was me in Vegas and Paul Crook, and I got a nickname, Shotgun Steve. Now, I didn't rob a bank or anything, but yeah, it's a funny story. And maybe if you want to ask me, you know, if you want to ask me what's, you know, give me some scenarios that might have happened, and I can tell you some stories as well. But it's been fun. Hey, Jack and Ori. So I hope you're all keeping safe, and you're in lockdown like we are. To be fair, lockdown, you know, it's fine for me. We're okay. I can stick it out, me, no problem. Just a shame we're not getting into the shows that we should be doing, but you know, what can you do? I'm going to do some of Helen's tomorrow. She sent loads in, so I'm going to do some Helen. So stick around, Helen. Tomorrow I'm gonna I'll do another 50 or so tomorrow. I mean, I've got so many. You know, like I said, we'll be there all night. But thanks for tuning in. The ones who have tuned in, I'm going to post this anyway, so everybody can have a look at it. What has it been? God, we've done 45 minutes. So catch you all later, and stay safe. And 2 o'clock tomorrow, I'll do some more. If you want to send some more questions in, you want to know about anything I haven't covered on this one, do so, and I'll chat to you then. See you all later.